everyone, welcome to the Blabbing with Blake show. This is Blake Thomas, just trying to be honest here. My name is Blake Thomas, of course, today. Today, I have picked a rather controversial subject. But I'm going to try and be nice, not really. We're going to talk about same-sex marriage. Yes, we are. Now, you may ask, why are we going to talk about same-sex marriage today? Because on Tuesday, there was a Supreme Court hearing to define marriage at the federal level. Because we have states, 34 states or so, say it's okay, the others don't, and there's a lot of controversy, which makes it a great topic for today's show. I want you to know that I have been changing my opinion about this topic. I know what some of you are thinking. Blake, you're a flip-flopper. Because if a conservative changes their mind, they are a flip-flopper. But let me tell you something. I'm not the only person who has changed my mind on this topic. I want you to hear this clip from our president. And then he blabbers on for about 6 more minutes, defining what he just said, which was crystal clear. And he said, I am not for gay marriage, but I'm for civil unions. The reason that I like his position, and by the way, this is the only time I've ever agreed with the president. Once and only. But the reason I like that position is because originally it was my position. If you remember 7 years ago, I was talking about civil unions. It's a great solution to this issue because it takes away the tradition and religious component of marriage. And that's a problem with a lot of people. Marriage between a man and a woman has been going on for a millennia, for thousands of years. And to redefine it in this manner goes against tradition and religious, for those religious folk out there. Obama's opinion now is vastly different. But you know what? He didn't flip-flop. You know what he did? He evolved. Isn't it much nicer to evolve, like going from a little fish in the sea, a microorganism, to a human being, a Homo sapien? Doesn't that sound nicer? We didn't flip-flop that way. We evolved. So it's a much more civil to evolve than it is to flip-flop. But I have flip-flopped. Now, he evolved, but there you go. This is a seismic cultural shift that has happened in a very short amount of time. Now, I believe that Obama evolved because of political expediency. The speech he was just giving, or the talk he was just giving rather, was during the 2008 campaign. And he knew public opinion overwhelmingly was against gay marriage, therefore, voila, he was against gay marriage. The culture has shifted. And now more than 50% say, yeah, why not? Why not? So therefore he changed. He knows he's not going to have to be elected anymore, so why not change? I changed for a different reason. Let's say you listen to the radio report this morning in the weather. And it says, hey, there's a tsunami coming. I'm going to put on my bathing suit and head for the hills. And this issue is a tsunami. It's coming, so why not? Fundamentally, I don't really care. Don't really have a pony in this show. But it is a huge cultural shift that we're seeing. And we see that with the president going from, oh no, to, oh yeah. But again, he evolved, whereas I flip-flopped. You have some things going on. I don't like the way it's changed. When you look at 2 states, and there are many more, California and Florida both adopted by the voters of the state to say that marriage is between a man and a woman. And both of those decisions were overturned by federal judges, unelected, unaccountable officials, and they said, oh no, that goes against civil rights. So now in California, liberal California said no to same-sex marriage. A federal judge said, we're gonna have it, and there you go. In California, there is same-sex marriage. Same thing in Florida. Florida is still the lower part of the Bible Belt, a little bit more conservative. Same thing happened. We voted no, and a federal judge said yes, and there you go. Terrible way to make laws. That's not the way laws are supposed to be made. And marriage is a state issue. It's not a federal issue anyway. The Constitution, you know how many times the Constitution talks about marriage? 0. And if the Constitution does not talk about a topic, it defers to the states. And lots of things defers to the states. The Constitution gives the federal government limited and enumerated powers, and marriage is not one of them. So that is my opinion, that is my flip-floppiness about this topic. Now, we have 3 callers. The weird thing about these The strange thing about these callers is they're all from Altamonte Springs, Florida. The happy village of Altamonte Springs. Our first caller is Scott. So Scott, if you would, not that I can see you, but if you could stand, it's a radio show, right? If you could stand up and let us know. So Scott, first of all, are you a Scot?
I am a Scot.
You're Scot? No.
I'm a Scot that's a Scot from Scotland.
You are Scottish.
Can't you tell by my Scottish accent?
Well, now I know, because I want to know, is a Scot really a Scot? So you really are.
I am.
There you go. Well, what is your position? Yay, nay, or are you a flip-flopper?
Yay.
Okay, well, what is your situation? Why'd you call?
Well, I only know what yay means because I'm a Seminole fan. Go Raiders. I just got back from a family reunion in Bloomington, Indiana.
Uh-huh.
See, and my cousin just came out and said, I thought she was a thespian, that she wanted to do plays. She says she's a lesbian.
She is.
And that just ain't right. Why did she make this decision? It's just not normal, is it?
Well, that's very interesting. I made a decision last night. Let me just say about my decision last night. I was going to go either to McDonald's or Burger King. And they're like, do I want to get fat or really fat? And I made a conscious decision. So your cousin, and what's her name?
Billy Sue.
Billy Sue. Did you ask Billy Sue, you know who, when she made this decision? Month, date, and year?
Oh, jeez.
She says she doesn't remember not making this decision, but she doesn't remember making the decision either.
Oh, okay, so she doesn't remember when she decided she liked girls.
I don't know.
That doesn't sound like a decision. Well, let me ask you something, Scott. When did you decide that you do like girls? Please tell me the month, date, and year.
December 5th, 1967.
I figured you were going to say that. For most people, except for Scott, it is not a decision. Sexuality is just what it is. Now, I'm not a psychologist, although I pretend to be one. I did sleep at Holiday Inn Express last night. I pretend to be one, but I'm really not a psychologist. I don't know about sexuality that much. But for most people, it's not a decision. Would you agree with that? Like for Billy Sue.
Those are big words. Can you use a colloquialism so I can understand?
I'll do that later. As a matter of fact, marriage is a colloquialism. I said it. Because we think that we know what it is, but it's really a legal relationship. It's just not all lovey-dovey. Okay. Okay, good for you. You're a normal guy. Go for it. On your tombstone, it's going to say, here lies the body of Scott. He was normal. If you're happy with that, good for you. Our next caller, thank you so much for calling. Our next caller is Kathy. Kathy, can I call you Aunt Kathy?
Yes, you can.
Super. And yay, nay, flip-flopper?
Well,
Quickly,
Well-
yellow light.
nay.
What's your situation, honey?
Well, my situation is, I don't know, next door, this gay couple
Yeah.
moved in.
Uh-huh.
And I'm very, very concerned.
Okay, good.